In the late 1690s, King Louis XIV of France made a decision that would birth one of the most enduring mysteries in European history. He locked away a mysterious prisoner in his new favorite prison, the infamous Bastille. The identity of this enigmatic man has inspired famous stories by Voltaire and Alexandre Dumas, captivating audiences for centuries and spawning countless adaptations in books, films, and art. Today, we'll uncover the real story behind the man in the Iron Mask. What historians have recently discovered reveals a tale stranger than fiction. The mystery of the masked prisoner. Speculation about the identity of the masked prisoner has intrigued historians for generations. But in 2016, a breakthrough brought us closer to the truth. According to history professor Paul Sonino, the man in the Iron Mask was likely a valet named Eustache Dogger. However, the story gets murkier from there. While historians agree that Dogger was probably a valet, questions remain about whom he worked for and why authorities went to such extreme lengths to guard him. Dogger's arrest warrant from 1669 came with strict instructions. He was to have limited contact with others, and if he spoke even a single word beyond what was necessary for his basic needs, he would be executed. Clearly, someone powerful had something to hide. Sonino's research suggests Dogger worked as a valet for Cardinal Mazarin's treasurer. Mazarin, a principal minister of France, amassed a vast fortune during his time in power. Sonino's theory proposes that Dogger uncovered evidence of Mazarin embezzling from the royal family and that his imprisonment was meant to keep the secret buried. The legend takes shape. The story of the man in the Iron Mask began as rumors. Reports from 1687 and 1698 mentioned the transfer of a mysterious prisoner between various prisons, noting that he always wore an iron mask. These accounts were corroborated by first-hand descriptions from prison guards and officials, who claimed the prisoner's identity was never revealed. After his death in 1703, the mystery deepened. Authorities reportedly burned all his belongings and even scrubbed his prison cell clean. Whether or not these details are true, they added fuel to the public's imagination, cementing the legend of the man in the Iron Mask. Was the mask actually iron? In his book The Search for the Man in the Iron Mask, a historical detective story, historian Paul Sonino presents a surprising argument. The mask might not have been made of iron at all. Some historians believe it was actually made of velvet, a material more plausible for the time. Velvet masks were common as accessories or for protecting the skin from the sun. The mask was likely only used during the prisoner's transfers to obscure his identity. While the man in the velvet mask doesn't have the same ring, this theory aligns with historical evidence. Voltaire's take on the mystery. The famous French philosopher and writer Voltaire added his own spin to the tale. While imprisoned in the Bastille in 1717, Voltaire heard stories about the masked man from older prisoners. In his writings, Voltaire described the mask as made of iron and even claimed it included steel springs that allowed the prisoner to eat while wearing it. Voltaire's version of the story portrayed the prisoner as someone of great importance, noting his refined manners, regular visits from the governor, and even his ability to play the guitar. These embellishments helped solidify the myth in the public's mind. Alexandre Dumas and the twin brother theory. Alexandre Dumas, the celebrated author of The Three Musketeers and The Count of Monte Cristo, took the story to new heights. In the third volume of his D'Artagnan romances, Dumas proposed that the man in the Iron Mask was the twin brother of Louis XIV. In his fictional account, the twins' existence posed a threat to the king's legitimacy, leading to his imprisonment. This theory became so popular that it inspired the 1998 film The Man in the Iron Mask, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, though the movie took significant liberties with the story. Other theories about the masked man. Before Sonino's research, numerous theories circulated about the prisoner's identity. Some speculated he was Louis de Bourbon, the banished son of Louis XIV, or the king's cousin, François de Bourbon. Others believed he was an Italian count named Ercole Mathiol, imprisoned for betraying the king. However, these theories have been largely debunked. For instance, Mathiol died in 1694, and François de Bourbon fell in battle long before the prisoner's death. One particularly wild theory suggested that the mask was used on multiple men as punishment for being lovers of the king's wives. Another popular belief was that the prisoner was Nicolas Fouquet, Louis XIV's disgraced financier. Fouquet was arrested for embezzlement and sentenced to life imprisonment after a lavish celebration at his chateau angered the king. While Fouquet's story bears similarities to that of the masked prisoner, historians agree that Fouquet was not the man in the iron mask. The political impact of the legend The Tale of the Masked Prisoner served as more than just a fascinating story. It became a tool for the king's enemies, who used it to criticize Louis XIV's reign. The Dutch, for example, spread rumors that the masked man was Louis XIV's real father in an attempt to challenge the king's legitimacy. These stories contributed to the public's perception of Louis XIV as a tyrant. The legacy of the Man in the Iron Mask. While the mystery of the Man in the Iron Mask has largely been solved, it continues to captivate audiences around the world. Whether as a historical curiosity or a source of artistic inspiration, the story remains an essential part of French history and culture. The enduring allure of the masked prisoner lies in the perfect blend of fact and fiction, mystery and intrigue. So, what do you think? Was Eustache Daguerre truly the man behind the mask? Or is there more to the story waiting to be uncovered?